Hey friends, I'm Christy and you're listening to Rock the Damn Boat. If you've ever bitten your tongue to keep the peace or said yes when every part of you wanted to say no, this one's for you. We're diving into the messy, real stuff that people pleasers like me have spent years avoiding. It's time to have the hard conversations, shake things up, and learn to stand tall even when it makes waves. And yet again, for Sunday Shorty, I find myself a little perplexed over what to share this week. I am doing my best not to be constant doom and gloom, but if you know me, then you know that menopause and my mental health journey have been incredibly challenging over the past year. So the good news is I had an amazing appointment with a hormone health nurse practitioner similar to Ashley, who I interviewed weeks ago. She is out of Florida, so she couldn't treat me here in Texas, but I found someone equally as knowledgeable, and I'm so excited to get started on my HRT journey. That, along with medication for my mental health, have me feeling a little bit better, but I know that this is just the beginning of a new chapter for me. I am learning to embrace this new version of myself. I am learning how to age gracefully and really lean on support from friends more than I might have in the past. And if you listen to the recent episode with Courtney Koenig of ROI of Peace, we talk about her asking for help at the Create and Cultivate event and just how difficult that is when women like us are used to being the nurturers and the caretakers. How do we learn to receive? And I received a little spark of inspiration for today's Sunday Shorty when I was out working in the garden today. I feel like there's a million metaphors for life and gardening, and this is just one of them. But I woke up this morning feeling behind, which is a way that I feel often right now. There's so much that I want to get done all the time. As an ADHD entrepreneur, I have a million ideas every day. It's having to discern which ones make the most sense and require follow through that can be so challenging. So I thought today it was going to be a catch-up day on all the things I wanted to do on the computer. Yesterday, I made the conscious choice and conscious effort to unplug. I went and watched my husband in a local horsemanship show. Really enjoyed being out there in the outdoors, being around horses, being around people that I know, and just this incredible camaraderie among that group. Today, I woke up thinking, okay, I have to be extra productive. I have to write a blog. I have to record a Sunday Shorty. I have to do more within my circle community. What are all these things that I need to get done? When my husband asked about going to breakfast, my initial thought was no. And actually, I said, I don't really feel like going out to breakfast. Still full from last night's dinner. We ended up going out unexpectedly. And in my mind, I was just thinking of all the things that I needed to check the boxes on. And then I thought, Christy, you're being incredibly selfish. We go out to breakfast almost every weekend. That's one of the things that we enjoy doing together. And my husband was hungry. He wanted to go out to eat. So I set my productivity, my workaholism aside, and I said, okay, let's go out to eat. So we went to breakfast, and then he wanted to run by Tractor Supply. He wanted to look at the wheelbarrows and replace the ones that we have, which he ended up not doing because, my gosh, they are so incredibly expensive. But while we were there, I wanted to buy some more soil. My gardening this year has consisted of 3 raised beds that I bought on Amazon. I put them together, and because they're so tall and would require so much dirt, we did sort of a lasagna gardening method. I had some rose clippings from the rose bushes that I trimmed back out front. We put those inside the lawn bags, so the paper bags went inside to fill the bottom of the raised beds. Then we put hay on top of that. And the hay was from a hay bale that the horses were eating off of. When they get down to the tail end of it, it's hay that's been stomped all over the ground. They've probably peed on it. Sometimes they poop in it. So it's just like spent hay that's not going to serve a purpose anywhere else. We moved some of that hay into the raised beds, had it piled nice and high. Then I went and bought gardening soil. I put bag after bag, probably $300 worth of garden mix on the top of my raised beds, planted my seeds, and then over time, every time I water, the dirt settles down through the hay. It has been slowly settling until now my poor little crops are sitting probably a foot below the edge of the raised beds. Now, I'm convinced that that means that they're not getting quite enough sun because there's shadows that are cast from either direction. I have had really puny vegetables so far, so my radishes didn't quite grow to their full size. The beets I had completely given up on. Not sure my carrots are going to make before it gets too hot outside. The tomatoes and the basil are kind of thriving, but everything's at a weird state because it just wasn't set up for success based on how much the dirt settled. So today, when we made our tractor supply run, I bought a dozen bags of topsoil. And I thought, well, I'll just mix it in with the existing garden mix and, make it into a little bit more of a garden-friendly soil because the topsoil was definitely, with all the rain we've had, it was like mud. So I started putting the topsoil into this one garden bed. And I was mixing it up. I got the garden tools out. I have one of those garden weasels that you can turn and it kind of turns up soil in the ground, but I was using it in my garden bed. I had this other little pitchfork style garden tool. I was using all my might. And so it was a great workout for me. I was turning the soil. I added some perlite that I had from my houseplants. And so that adds drainage. Going through trying to make this one garden bed that had been the home of the radishes, and I decided to give up on the beets, so this bed was going to be the new bed. It took all dozen bags of the topsoil. I finally got it into some sort of, kind of a mix that I hoped would have enough drainage. And squash likes sandy soil, and that's what I planned to put in it was yellow squash and zucchini, so I wasn't overly worried about the consistency of the soil. As I was reworking this soil, of course, my mind started to go to the idea of the seeds that we plant and how so often the conditions have to be perfect for those seeds to turn into really healthy, ripe vegetables. One little thing can be off and it can make or break your vegetables. In this case, not enough dirt, not enough sun. I felt this was a very personal connection to the way I've been lately. And with my menopause and mental health journey, I just haven't been able to see the bright side. I feel like the sun has eluded me most days. I really struggle to be positive like I always have been, but that's where I needed the support and rejuvenation of some soil in the form of, support of friends and people who have been reaching out and making sure that I'm doing okay. I got the soil all ready to go, and I keep thinking about how I can get in my own head about what I need to be doing to help these vegetables thrive. I don't typically use fertilizer. I don't necessarily use anything, chemical that will help with the bugs. I really want an organic experience. And if I think about the seeds that I've planted and that organic growth, that's what I'm looking for. I don't want to be in everybody's face about everything that I'm doing. I want to offer support and help and guidance, and I don't want to be pushy. I am okay with this organic growth over time, and it may mean that I don't have the largest pumpkins in the pumpkin patch, but it means that I did it in a way that felt authentic to me. I got the soil ready. I put the squash seeds in there, and I'm excited to see what happens. I had started some little okra seeds inside of egg cartons, which was my mom's idea, which was amazing. I didn't have to spend money on little seed starting trays because we have plenty of egg cartons. My okra is sprouting. I will put that in another bed once I get more topsoil. And I'm setting this next round up to thrive. And that is exactly what the Thrive Collective is to me. I have planted seeds, different things for coaching cohorts, for consulting with corporate businesses. So far, it's been like my beets. Nothing has really developed into a plant that resembles a vegetable. But I am all in on the Thrive Collective. I am so excited to build this community. It is the thing that I have been circling for months and was too afraid to put into practice. So I am reworking my soil. I am reworking my plans for my creative entrepreneurship, and that is the Thrive Collective. It is a space where you can come as you are, talk about the things that you're afraid of, but that you want to, the seeds that you want to plant in your own life. So you've been thinking about these ideas, circling these ideas, just like I did the community. Maybe you want to plant a seed that leads to a book. Maybe you want to plant a seed that leads to a business. Whatever it is, I will be offering live and recorded coaching calls. I will be offering live and recorded mindfulness and wellness classes. So I like to say it's Rock the Damn Boat meets the Rooted Soul. It is a community that is intentional. It is $44 to be a founding member, and that number is intentional as well. And I hope that you'll join me inside the Thrive Collective. It's in the Circle app. If you are already familiar with Circle, it will be an easy platform. And if you're not, I promise it's still pretty easy. So that is me planting a new round of seeds and confident that this will grow and flourish, that I have set this up with so much intention. And even when I think about the first round of seeds I planted, I knew that they were cold weather vegetables and that I was taking a risk by planting them in late spring. I knew that I might not want to do consulting because I got out of corporate for a reason. And I don't know what the future holds, job-wise, income-wise, but I do know that today I felt so grounded out there, hands in the dirt, working in nature and planting food that I will grow organically to nourish me and my husband, and I'm so excited for that. And I'm excited that you listened today, and I hope that you will tune in again for the next episode. Follow and subscribe so you don't miss a single one. You've been listening to Rock the Damn Boat, a podcast produced and recorded by Christy Hughes. You can follow, subscribe on both Apple and Spotify, and your 5-star review goes a long way. Thank you so much for your support of the show.